Hey guys, this is Coach Delkey. One of the best ways you can improve a skill in any sport is to watch and kind of pick apart and analyze what makes other successful athletes so good. Uh, with the invention of YouTube, there are so many videos that you can watch now to help you learn about different parts of sports or different skills. I highly suggest you watch as many different videos as you can, especially of guys that know what they're doing, like the three that I'm about to show you today. It just the more you can watch certain fundamentals, the easier it'll be for you to incorporate them into your own sport. The purpose of this video is to show you some things that you could possibly incorporate into your swings this off season, which is the best time to work on your swings because once you get into the season, you're going to have to focus on so much more as far as picking up what pitch is coming, how the speed of the pitch, and just hitting the ball in general, which is difficult enough to do. If you're busy thinking about the mechanics of your swing, it's just going to make it that much harder to hit the ball during the season. So try to take care of as many of these kinks in your swing during this off season, either at our open gyms or at clinics throughout the winter. So that way, once we get into the season, you can just focus on actually hitting the ball and not what you're doing with your swing. So this video is just to show you some things that I noticed about these three hitters that they all kind of have in common that we could possibly use in our swings to significantly improve your power and your consistency at the plate. I'm not saying you all have to have the exact same swing, but I believe if you can incorporate some of these parts into your swings, it could drastically improve your power and consistency at the plate, and which is going to help us be more successful this season. So your main goal every time you step into the box should be to hit the ball hard and or have a quality at bat. So by following the fundamentals that I'm going to talk about in this video, you can drastically improve how hard you hit the ball and how consistently you make good contact. The more consistently you can mimic these things, the better hitter you'll become. So before I start these videos of these three guys, I just want to talk about some of the things that they do pre-swing. If you don't know these guys, the guy on the right is Mike Trout, one of the best young hitters in baseball. In the middle, Buster Posey, who some say has the very best swing in Major League Baseball right now. And then the guy on the left, you might not like anymore, but I know he's probably someone that most of you are familiar with, so I wanted to incorporate him into this video too, and that's Ryan Braun. Whether you like him or not, doesn't really matter at this point. I'll let you be the judge. I could really care less, but all three of these guys are very good hitters. So if we look at the pre-swing here, the first thing we want to make sure when we step into the box is that we are confident. Whether it's we've gone 0 for 4 in the game or 4 for 4, you should come into the box confident, knowing that you're going to hit the ball. You want to look to hit the ball hard and attack the inside of the ball, which all three of these guys do. It doesn't matter if they haven't had a hit all game. They're going to come into the box confident and ready to swing their bat. Next thing you'll notice is all three of these guys have relaxed athletic stances. Their knees are bent. Their feet are about shoulder width apart. Braun's is a little bit slimmer than the other two, but you'll notice that they're all very relaxed. They're holding the bat with their knocker knuckles lined up. They're gripping the bat in their fingers, not the palms of their hands. They have their nose pointed at the pitcher. Buster Posey is probably the best example. Notice how far he has his head turned. He's able to pick up the baseball with not just one eye, but with both eyes. The further you can turn your head, the easier it is to see that ball. So make sure that you're working on that as well. So as we start all three of these videos here, I just want to go through some things that you'll notice all three of them have in common with their swings. The first thing I'm going to talk about is their weight transfer. You'll notice once I start all three of these videos, starting with Mike Trout, as soon as he starts his swing, he's going to transfer his weight to his back leg. Same thing with Buster Posey. Okay, he's transferring all of his weight back. Braun's isn't as significant, but he does bring his weight back. Okay, so the first step is to transfer your weight back and load your lower half. This is not something we see enough at the high school level, and something our high school players have struggled with. We're not loading every time we start our swing. So it's important that you bring your weight back as you start your swing. Okay, the next thing you'll notice is that their stride foot now, all three of these guys take a stride step. That's not something that all of you should or probably do right now. That's completely up to you. These guys can get away with it. Some of you might not be able to. Some of you might need to take a smaller stride step. It all depends on how quick of hands you have and what works for you. So whether you use a stride step or not, I'm not really picky about. It's whatever you're most comfortable with. These guys all do it, and it works for them. So the next thing you'll notice, though, that it's important to use in your swing is as they start to come forward now and transfer their weight forward, all three of them here, as they're transferring their weight forward, you'll notice now they bring their hands all the way back behind their right foot. All three of these guys bring their hands back as they're striding forward. So as you stride as your stride foot comes forward, your hands need to move back behind your back foot. All three of these guys do it. You'll notice all three of them now are pointing the knob of the bat at the catcher. Okay, notice the bat position. All of them are bringing the barrel of the bat back behind their heads. At our youth clinics, I'll tell the kids to point the flashlight at the catcher, point the flashlight in the catcher's eyes, which is the knob of the bat. And then what's going to happen next is after they point the flashlight in the catcher's eyes, they're going to point the flashlight at the ball. So you'll also notice once their stride foot lands, their head position, all three of them have their head directly in the center of their body. Now, a lot of coaches will tell you to stay back. You hear guys yelling that all the time. You'll hear me saying stay centered. The reason it's important to stay centered is because you want to keep your head as still as possible throughout the swing. The more you move your head, the more the ball is going to move on you, whether it's a curveball or a fastball or changeup. It's going to be difficult to hit the ball if your head is moving because that will make the ball move along with your head. So it's very important to try and keep your head as still as possible and keep your head in the middle of your body. So the next thing I want to talk about is, especially with Mike Trout here, his is the easiest to see. Once he started his swing, the first thing that kind of starts your swing is your foot, and then it works up into your knee, and then your waist comes through, and then the last thing that's going to come through is your hands. A lot of coaches, young coaches, will tell you to squish the bug. That's not necessarily true. It doesn't work the best, but it is a good strategy to get young hitters to start that pivot foot, because a lot of guys will just keep it stuck in the ground and won't turn it at all. So I'm okay with coaches using that term, but at the same time, what's really happening is the knee is actually doing the turning. That's what's going to generate more power. If you turn with your knee, and then notice how the back foot, all three of these guys, their back foot, their toe is going to be digging into the ground, and some of them even lift their back leg, especially if you ever watch Bryce Harper. His back foot is completely off the ground. But they're allowed to do this and able to do this because they lock that front leg. They have a stiff front leg, which keeps their body balanced and centered as they start to drive through the ball. So you'll also notice that when they started their swing, the knob of the bat goes directly into the hitting zone, and they're keeping the barrel of the bat leg behind. That's important for developing power as well. You'll also notice in this one, all three of them, they have, at the point of contact, they have their palm up, palm down. So their top hand's palm is up, their bottom hand is palm down, and they're finishing their swing by rolling their wrists over and extending all the way through the ball. Okay, so just some things I wanted to show you quickly that maybe you can work on during this off season and incorporate in your swings. Hopefully this video helped you out. Make sure that you also take time to record your own swings and kind of analyze them as well. Try to get 1% better each day.